I've had this piece for quite some time. I picked it up at an old, dusty Florida flea market several years ago. When I saw it, I was immediately drawn to it. I didn't know why, but it made me so happy on so many levels. Designed very creatively by the artist to look like an agate slice, but it's what's at the very center which reveals the most. That empty space, that absence contains both the clue and the answer. Having a math disability, yes, those exist, means that I am the least likely candidate to be likening anything to an algebraic equation, yet here I am. I find the understanding of an algebraic equation via universal wisdom and downloads. Let's talk about an algebraic equation. It's a statement of the equality of two expressions formulated by applying a set of variables, the algebraic operations, namely addition, 1 plus 1 equals 2, or 11, or 11, 11, or 2, 22. I mean, now we're getting creatively artistic with our numbers and our additions, but you divine feminines and metaphysical folks know exactly the kind of math that I do. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Subtraction, the toxicity you took away from you. What form did that come in? Who was the who that was not so good for you? Multiplication, a necessary part where things are now multiplied so that they can play their part. What does that mean for you? Division, that time when separation and retreat is needed, the hermit space where a lot of us needed to be to get back to the more grounded places of our sanity. Also, when you incubate, when you divide away so that you can understand the things that each other might say. Sometimes it will come down to things being divided. Raising to a power, that was one of my favorite parts. And extraction of a root. I never related to math more. Root chakra, grounding, the things that cause us great pain, the way that we love our style, how we learned it from our parental units again and again, maybe things we didn't learn, but we implemented later in other relationship dynamics, whether it be foe, friend, or lover, sister, uncle, or brother. This comes from our root chakra. I never knew that algebra had so many parallels to things that are truth. Examples here. Let's do an equation real quick. X3 plus 1 and y4 times 2 plus y x y minus y x minus 1, which somehow miraculously equals 12. And in my metaphysical mind, I break it down with numerology 2, 3. That is the number that I see. That's dealing with ascended masters, spirituality, and life paths too. I am solving for X. I find myself in a place solving for X, and more accurately, the meteorite that you are very blurrily staring at here on the screen is solving X for me. Crystalline icebergs, geode resin bound clear quartz swarmed by curious amethyst and oozed into a puddle of blue silver. You have to see it to understand. That's what this slice of agate that I found at that flea market looks like. It's not pictured on the screen now, but you'll see it soon. So when I saw this slice of agate created so beautifully with its crystalline iceberg geodes, resin-bound clear quartz swarmed by curious amethyst, and oozed into a puddle of silver, when I saw it encased and wrapped in that gold paint, I said, this belongs with me, and my angel said that it belonged with me. We are star seeds. Somehow I just knew this was a gift. I didn't understand its significance until recently when a meteorite entered my life. The thing about meteorites is you can't predict. We can say that there is a meteorite shower, meaning we can identify what's happening, but when they come when they are ready to come. In its simplest terms, a meteorite is a rock that falls to Earth from space. Meteorites are rocks, but they often are not like Earth rocks. They are far older, ancient, weathered. They provide some of the only samples we have of other worlds, other planets, asteroids, and possibly comets in our solar system. I've always had an affinity for comets, space, study, travel, planetariums, constellations. Our lifetimes before us seep into and out of our pores in this one, and clearly this has been something I've done. So, a comet specifically, because you cannot catch a comet, but you can be delighted by its dazzle, even for the time it's in your life. I want to liken this for my divine feminines to your counterpart or soulmate, to a connection or an assigned person. Sometimes unlocking new dimensions of love and connection can feel like the plot to an Indiana Jones movie. Puzzles that lead into stairways, that lead into hallways, that lead up trapdoors, that lead into rope bridges, that lead into leaps off of cliffs. That's what your meteorite is meant to come in and do. And just like in the final scene in Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford places that last puzzle piece, and it so perfectly fits. The meteorite is. What does that mean, Monette? The meteorite is. It means, empath, earth angel, divine feminine, that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and that whatever is happening is the thing you were supposed to see, and that it was divinely guided for such a time as this for thee. When we're in the trenches of our despair regarding healing from the shrapnel and wounds, we will never imagine that you could have something bigger, better, more expansive, all-encompassing, but divine feminine. What I promise you is not only that you will, but that it will be unfathomably mind-blowing. The synchronistic occurrences, the sheer intricacies which coalesce the magic will blow your mind. Turn it over in your hand. Mull it over in your soul. It is yours. Vibrational alignment means the things that say you do, and the things that you do will attract your tribe to you. Your tribe will then be attractive to you, and you attracted to them, and you will pull in your best of kin. We've gone through so many incarnations in the Matrix, but this is a place where space is. And I mean that time away from toxic people is where space is. Where you clear your head, time to rest, when you make time for bed, all the little things that you can now do because the empath is not just you. And what I mean by that is that the empath exists. You are not an ancillary party in anybody's story. This, for the first time, is a taste of bliss, and this is the place where your meteorite exists. Ask yourself this week what your meteorite is. Is it a sense of freedom? Is it that independence that is completely free and comfortable? Is it a comfortable relationship? Is it reconciliation? Is it something that is fresh, new, and magic? Chris Martin from Coldplay, when they broke up, Goop and he broke up, he fell in love with Jennifer Lawrence. Yes, J-Law from the Hunger Games. And when he fell in love with her, he wrote a song. And in it says, "Turn your magic on for me," she said. And when he was talking about falling in love again, after he'd existed in a place where partnership was great and it had served its purpose, but something was shaken from a lower state, a root chakra state, a sacral chakra state, a solar plexus state. That song, though not one of my favorites, was Chris's way of encapsulating what it feels like to encounter a meteorite. So even if it's not a brand new love, that's just right. What is for you is an education and an escape from a toxic situation, something that finally feels true. And maybe it is something that is absolutely new. When you can see into the expanse and the universal void, when you can see pieces, two pieces, that though are not identical, were destined to collide, that's where the meteorite resides. I want you to think about and answer what your meteorite is. And even though I can't tell you exactly what your meteorite will do for you, a meteorite is a representation of a dream come true. And your angels want you to know that too. Please check out pictures on my community page and tell me what you see. Again, I see two pieces that, though were not identical and are not identical, were always destined to collide. I see the puzzle piece in Harrison's hand. I see sky blue Madagascar celestite and an ever evolving galaxy. How about you, empath? What's your truth? What's your view? Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to add 1 + 1 and make it 2.